Hello everybody, this is chapter 11 through 13, starting with 11, scheduling and its implications. Scheduling is twofold. The first category is organization of time, the second is establishing priorities. There are three broad categories within education of scheduling concerns, and those are administrative schedules, faculty schedules, and student schedules. I'm going to talk about the specific concerns within those three different areas. First, faculty scheduling. It's the music administrator's responsibility, so the department chair, whoever's responsibility, to ensure that the music faculty schedule is properly utilized, especially when a principal places little value on music. So it's important that those that are hired as music teachers, that they're doing as much music class and as much stuff related to their area of expertise as possible. The class period length should be determined by the age level of the students. Younger students should have shorter class periods because they have shorter attention spans. Travel time to classrooms should be built into music teachers' schedules, meaning that if a music class is scheduled as a 45-minute class period, then the homeroom teacher, let's say it's a third grade general music teacher, should have at least a couple minutes built into his or her schedule to transport the students to the music class, so that part of the 45 minutes isn't taken up by their homeroom teachers walking the students to and from the classrooms. Classroom teachers with the background in music should share their music with students. However, the MENC requires that all musical skills and concepts be taught by the specialist. This kind of surprised me because I've never really seen a classroom teacher taking their own time to teach music, and I wouldn't expect them to do that, but this was mentioned in the chapter. One full teacher service day is granted for every 200 students enrolled at a school was one example in terms of time and the percentage on the salary base. So based on this, if there were a school that had 1,000 students, that would be right around the amount of one full-time teacher. And if there was a school with 700 to 800 students, it would be one teacher that was 80% on the part-time, full-time scale. This was surprising to me. I thought the number would be lower. I thought it would be maybe one full-time teacher for 700 students enrolled at a school. But this was one specific example of a school district in Akron, Ohio. Factors for faculty scheduling at the college level. This is different than primary and secondary education. The first is if the university is on quarters or semesters, which in this day and age, the vast majority are on semesters. The institution's regulations that determine the minimum or maximum course load. Other assignments that the professor has, for example, research projects that the university expects of the professors, or administrative duties. The nature of the class, if it's a lab class or a lecture or rehearsal or a studio class, or what the setting and the nature of the class is. The number of credit hours that the course takes up, and the number of contact hours expected for students outside work. Those are all the faculties considered in faculty scheduling at the college level. Student scheduling. In primary education, students should have class periods that are shorter than 45 minutes to an hour, no longer than an hour. Secondary education, the biggest concern is avoiding scheduling conflicts involving music classes. It's really hard to do this unless extra measures are taken. For example, a jazz band class that the school that I student taught at, that occurred during the zero period, which was described by the book. Zero period is before the scheduled school day starts. That's one of the only ways to fit in additional music classes, just due to scheduling conflicts in secondary education. Chapter 12, reciprocity. This concept refers to teacher certification in one state, a certain state accepting a teacher certification from another state. So if somebody, for example, has a state of Georgia teaching certificate and the state of North Carolina has reciprocity with Georgia, then that person would be able to teach at a public school in the state of North Carolina also. I really believe in that concept. I think if somebody has a teaching certificate in one state, I don't see any reason that they shouldn't be able to teach in another state. On the issues and challenges of administration in Chapter 13, the qualifications for music administrative roles have increased over time. There are higher expectations of these administrators. On a totally separate topic, 85% of secondary students are not involved in music, and the book says this, and I agree with this, that the reason for this is because of the lack of the bridge between music taught in schools and music in society. A lot of students that are interested in popular music, they choose not to get involved in school music because the majority of it is concert band music, traditional orchestra music that was written before any of these students were born. So that's something that we as music educators should keep in mind, because it would be really good for students if the number was lower than 85% for secondary school students that are not involved in music. Have a great day, folks.